What is up, my people? It is your boy here, doing some more photoshopping. I don't really have a huge idea of what I want to do today. I set up, as you can see in this little chat window or from chat, that I set up a suggestion document that if you go and fill out this information here, you can give me your suggestions and I will go through them chronologically. No one's put anything in there yet. Hey Noodles, what's up, man? How's it going? Glad to see you here. But yeah, I set up a new suggestion thing so that people can fill that stuff out if they want to suggest anything. Not too sure what I want to do today. I had this crazy dream though, so I collected a bunch of like waterfalls and mountains. Like I had like this dream where like the sun, let me get this set up. That's good to hear, man. But like I had this dream where like there's like the sun and it was like a waterfall was coming out of it and like this lake of lava and stuff. I don't know. It's going pretty good, enjoying my day so far. I have some plans for some work. Hopefully it turns out well. I don't know. We will see. Let me close some of these unnecessary windows and put everything into the largest document. Okay. Let's see here. Oh wait, I gotta check on Lopmon. Lopmon's still not too happy. I don't know why. I've been trying to take care of him. It's probably because he's been in the dark this whole time. But like he's gotta be in the dark in order to get like his like Path E Digivolution. Alright, let's close these off. Do I want this one to be the background? I think so. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna change this up so this matches our horizon line, which I think is probably right around here, maybe. I think the ground plane converges to that, which would make it so that if I put this like this, it should match up all right. But this is all just guesswork. We'll see if it works out. If it doesn't, we can always use things like perspective in free transform and mess around with that. Let's move the window a little bit. All right. Let's get rid of this. The problem I think is going to be like this is pretty heavy on the atmospheric perspective because it's quite far in the distance. And it's like a foggy day, but these mountains in the background aren't really affected by that. So I'm gonna have to do some like major like curves color correction in order to make it look like they're part of the same like really like same universe or plane or something, because otherwise they're just not gonna match up very well. Alright, just doing some rough masking. We can go back and make it cleaner later, but I just want to get some general feel for what this would look like. But yeah, anyway, oh shoot, I messed up. I was going too quick, but my idea here is like to recreate a piece that I had in my dream last night, which, let me get this set up right. So I want the river here, the sun here maybe, but like I had like this sun with like a waterfall falling down into a like lake, and the lake was like glowing red. So which one of these? I guess I could move this here because I kind of want it to go to a lake, but we can do that part later. These are some really small images. I didn't, or maybe, yeah, maybe this like this lake one is just as freaking huge. Yeah, because this is a NASA sun image, and the NASA sun image is that small. This is some high tier photography that I'm stealing from. All right, so let's move this here. Let's put it on top, and let's do some quick masking for the waterfall effect, because that's what we really want here. We want the sun to be like puking lava. Honestly, I don't really remember a whole lot what happened in it. I just remember seeing this like imagery of it. Most of my dreams are like that. It's weird. Like I don't really remember what happens in them, but I kind of get like sometimes I remember like iconographic images from them or something. Like it's really difficult to explain. I guess my memory in the dream world isn't very good, if I'm gonna be honest. But like my memory in reality is freaking really good. So like I don't understand. Like I never had to study for any tests when I was going through college or high school. I would just naturally do well because I retained information, which was a huge blessing. But like I can never remember my dreams, so I don't know. Don't know what's up with that. All right, so then what I want to do is I want the water to be coming down somewhere maybe around here. So that would mean that I would probably move the sun up a little bit. If I remember what happened in the dream, I'll let you know, Noodles. But it's probably not gonna happen. I probably won't remember what happened in it. Let's see. Do I want... See, right now it doesn't look like it's matching. So maybe if I put this as where the water's hitting and then transform that. Horizon line in this one is probably right around here. Let's get rid of some of this background. It's gonna be a whole lot of color correcting and levels for this one, I can already tell. Just because the amount of like distance in these photos. Like atmospheric perspective is really kicking in on some of them. And it's all different because they're in different places of the world, you know. So they got different like particles in their atmosphere, different levels of pollution. Let's put this one behind the waterfall. Let's see if the waterfall coming into like this area. Maybe if I enlarge it, but then that's gonna mess up our atmospheric perspective. Yeah, maybe that works. If I do some like touch-up work on the waterfall itself, I think that should be okay. But now it's gonna be like blending this water area into our lake. I mean, it's already kind of not the same as what I originally dreamed, but we'll see what we can make from it. There's also a lot of like hard edges here, so maybe if we turn the opacity of this a little lower, we can see where the lake is running. Maybe we can make it blend in a little bit better, because right now we just have like this hard barrier on the land and the water, and if we make it so that there's only a hard barrier on the land, then it will be easier for us to mix them together. And right now I'm just getting some rough stuff going on so that we can see what it looks like and if I want to change anything. All right, and then we have another water area here. I'm not doing this in a mask. Whew. Oh well, if this doesn't work out, I'm not gonna do some history states. I just saw that I don't have a mask for this layer. I knew this was gonna happen eventually. Oh man. Like I could always go back on my history states, but like I already did so much work with just deleting stuff, I don't want to delete it again. Oh well. See, because I can't fix this now, but we'll see what this looks like. See if that's even what I want. I mean, it would be alright, I guess. The main issue is the blending, and if I blend this right, then maybe my mistake with not having a layer mask will be not too bad. So let's try to correct our mistakes here. Oh man, it's been a while since I just started deleting something without like messing with its actual mask. It's kind of sad. Let's see. We want to make the blues more washed out. So I think if we have to first make everything a little bit more washed out. Something like that, because we have this atmospheric perspective going on, and then our greens are a little red. So what we need to do is we need to make them a little bit more green, but then that's making our blues a little bit weird. So we make, I think we're like, there's too much green in the water itself. So this is gonna make this a little bit difficult. Maybe if we go back to green. No, see, we're gonna be in this awkward spot that if we match up the greens for the edges, we're not gonna match up the green or the blues rather. Digimon. Oh, he wasn't hungry. Maybe let's see what the reds. Maybe I could just make the reds and then not mess around with the greens. Let's put the greens back to 1 or 0 or whatever the default. It's 1. And let's see if we can mess around with the reds to see if we can make the reds right. Doesn't look like it, actually. Let's do this levels. No. Dang it. Dang it. I guess what we could do, instead of doing levels, we could take a hue saturation adjustment layer and see if we just mess with greens here, and that's not doing anything. That's surprising. So they're not technically greens. The yellows, okay, they're kind of yellow, but that's not their major color here. What are they? Cyans? No way they're cyans. The water cyan. What the heck? Are they magentas? What is the major color here? It's very strange to me. They're reds and yellows, I guess. Colorize. Nah, this is gonna be more difficult than I thought to match these. It's because the water's like ungodly blue, which is very beautiful, and I think that's why I want to use this image so much. But then the issue comes in is that if I match its like weird like gray amount, or rather white amount in the image, and then try to match the trees, I can kind of get the trees to be alright. I can definitely blend the back. I guess maybe what I could do is I can do like a duplicate layer sort of strategy here. Let's just do that. We duplicate this, and then just delete out the water of this one. We can do something around it. Actually, instead of deleting that and deleting more information, let's do this. Let's go to the layer mask and then delete out the trees. And then we can do the blending later. Alright. What we could do before we start even doing all of this is put in another levels on the water layer. And then try to match the water to the right amount of gray. And the right amount of blue in it. Oh wow, this is not working out. I thought it matched better. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I'm trying my hardest. I'm trying to make this work. What? I can't even remember the levels that I had set for when I had the water to be like this really grayed out little bit of water. I don't want to mess with the actual contrast. I just want to add more like white into it. Like wash out the grays. And I guess that's kind of doing it. It's doing it like so much. It's not matching exactly. I think if I go maybe to like our blue layer, and if I just mess with the blue layer just a little bit, I might be able to match them. That's kind of matching. Oh, that's getting better. Getting there. I think that's probably as close as I'm going to be able to get it. But that being said, I think I might be able to maybe manually like blur them together, which is good. And then let's do some deleting of the coastline so that we maintain like the edited effect. But see, this is going to be the issue. Is that these trees right here, and I have no way of going back. I guess we're going to have to do something like this. Don't use all layers. Thank you. I guess we'll just start some of the blending right now so that we can get that going. No. That sharp edge is going to kill me. Alright, that works. So that coastline is starting to look good. I don't want to get too much into the detail right off the bat. Whoops. I did this the wrong way. Oh my gosh. Like, clearly I'm not awake. Because if I was awake, I'd immediately call myself out on doing this the wrong way. Oh, mate. What am I doing? Those trees are the right thing, so actually, wait, never mind. I'm actually doing this the right way. Wait. My brain's not functioning. Hold on, let me take a closer look at this. Those are not even matched up to the hue that I thought I had them matched up to. I thought I had them more closely matched up than that. Gotta get more yellow in them without blowing them out completely. Ugh. The loveliness of trying to match two different things. Is that enough yellow? It's maybe a little bit more. That looks alright. The background's gonna suck. My favorite food. That's a tough question. That really is. I mean, I like pretty much eat just about anything. But if I had a choice of picking what I was gonna eat, it would probably be like, I don't know, like a chicken chimichanga or something, or maybe like a supreme pizza or something. I don't know. I'm gonna ask you, Enchanted Noodles, though. I might know the answer. What might your favorite food be? Is it possibly noodles? Is it possibly noodles? Noodles are pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I ate a ton of ramen when I was in college. A ton of it. So like, I have to enjoy it to some degree. What I would do for when I was making ramen, I would get one of those like cup noodles, because they're technically ramen. And then what I would do is that I would put an egg in it once I put the hot water in, so that the egg would cook with the noodles, and then I put some like slices of cheese in there. I don't know why. I was like, you know what would be good with this is some slices of cheddar. So I put cheddar in there and the egg and the ramen noodles, and somehow it all worked together, and it would actually taste all right. It was pretty good. The cheese would never actually like fully melt, and it would never really be like stirred into the solution, but you'd get some of the taste of the cheese in the broth, which was really, really good. But then at the very end, then you're just stuck with like a bunch of like somewhat half melted cheese at the bottom of the ramen cup. So like, I mean, like, it was nice, but like at the same time, you know, you just get some fucking cheese that didn't even turn into like anything but like this half melted mess. But I don't know, it's pretty good. I don't know, man. I don't know, it might be psychic or something. Who knows? Alright. There might be a little bit too much yellow in this, but we're not going to go back. We're just going to keep moving forward, keep pressing forward, and deal with our mistakes of messing up, not having a gradient map on this. And maybe, I hope to goodness that I don't end up getting to a situation where I just nix all of this, which might be what's going to happen. I might not like the direction this is going for this lake area, and then just get rid of it. I do that a lot. I start work on something, make like a rough outline, and then just get rid of it. Why is this not... Okay, so it is working. It's just that it doesn't seem to be like... The color differential is crazy on this. I mean, just get like a softer edge here. And then maybe what I could do is get a softer edge on this coast. Alright, I deleted all of that anyway. I wish I was a wizard. That would be so cool, man. Casting magic and stuff. It'd be so cool. Alright. So I need to move on to something else on this little image, because I can't keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make the flame fire waterfall. So we're gonna change the sun to be more of an oranger yellow color. And I think what we're gonna do is probably gonna blow out this a little bit. But before all of that, let's get a better mask going here, and then let's see what blending options we can get. I think like if we just have like an additive mask, like a screen or an overlay or something, and then just duplicate it, it should be more intense. But before we do that, let's get the sun to be what I want the sun to be. see, this is the issue that I have with Photoshop 6. Like, I didn't have as much of an issue with this in like CS6 when I was working with it when I was in at college and using their computer ones. Is that, I don't know, some of the blending options that you get in CS6 allow you to do additive stuff a little bit better. Like, I should easily be able to have it so that this black is completely disappeared, but then like it should have like this additive function, so that I don't have to worry about like all this like weird, like not fully turning. Like, this black should be gone, and I should have it so that it looked like this, is basically what I'm trying to say in so many words. All right, so that looks all right. Let's expand this by like maybe 2 pixels, and then we'll feather it by maybe 2 pixels as well. All right, so that looks okay. And what I'm gonna do is actually also have like a white sphere behind it to amplify it, but we're not gonna work with like 100% white here, and we're not gonna keep it actually white. What I'm gonna do is actually I'm gonna apply a gradient map to it so that I get some texture going to it. I don't know what I want though. I could make it just a multiply, and then what we can do is put actually a color over it, lower the color, set its color, go to orange. This is gonna give us some more like, I don't know, like depth to our image. It's like kind of my style to do things like this, so I like to replicate them like this. And then what we could do is we could use the finger painting tool to blend this into it a little bit better. And I think that's what we're gonna do, but we're not gonna do it on the layer, so that we don't get rid of information. I keep saying it, but I really do mean it. Like, if you are starting to get into Photoshop and you're learning the tools, try to make it so that you don't lose information whenever you do something. Because if you ever want to go back and you get rid of information, it makes it a little bit more difficult to get exactly what you want back. I don't know. No, I don't know. Skipping this song. Lab 16. All right. But yeah, so work in layers, work in adjustment layers. Oh, favorite video game. That's tough. Like it flip flops all the time. But I'd say like it's either between like OG Monster Hunter 2 for the PSP, because I never played it on the PlayStation 2 because I don't have a copy, or Persona 3, or I don't know. There's a lot. So Monster Hunter 2, Persona 3, Ace Combat 0, or I don't know. Maybe I guess those are the top 3 right now. But like it changes all the time. How about you, Noodles? What's your favorite video game? It's a tough question to answer. Like, it really is. And then let's go maybe make it so that we can slightly erase some of these things. Wet edges, low percentage. Let's turn this off and see what we can do. No, I don't want wet edges on. It's gonna make this a little bit more difficult. Why is that edge so hard? I guess I could have just done it like this. And then, since it's the sun, having some like shaded like loss of information, I guess is okay. Something like that. Probably Digimon is hungry. Maybe I can add more white to this. Let's see. I use levels way too much, but I love using levels. Levels is like the easiest tool to like get like a general feel for, because like you can just do things like this and you can easily see like the effects of it. And Photoshop just glitched up on me, but like if you don't know what levels does, essentially like this is like how black your blacks are and this is how white your whites are, or how red or green or whatever channel you're on. So what you can do is you can make your blacks more gray, or you can make your whites more black, or just change it on gray levels. Oh yeah, Animal Crossing, man. Oh, who could not like Animal Crossing? I hope that the Switch gets a new Animal Crossing. That would be like the Like besides, cause like Monster Hunter Double Cross is coming out on the Switch as like a Switch version, so like that might be like a reason for me to get one. That obviously the new Zelda game seems pretty sick, and I would love to play it as well. But yeah, Zelda's great. I remember playing like my first Zelda game that I remember actually beating was Ocarina of Time and then Majora's Mask on our N64. Like those were pretty good. Like I don't think Ocarina of Time is the best game ever. I actually think Majora's Mask is a little bit better than Ocarina. But I love playing them back in the day. They were so much fun. So much fun. All right, so I think if we just soften these edges up. Yeah, I kind of lose a little bit of information here, but we'll see what I do with it. Nah, I don't like the levels. Yeah, but like, you can't really go wrong with Legend of Zelda games. Like, they're like always good. Even the like the lesser loved ones, they're still pretty good. Still pretty good. I think if I go to this layer here and then I start softening this edge up, I don't even need to use the blend tool here, because I got the colors and like basically the matching colors and contrast to be to a level. I can make it so that I can just slightly erase onto the layer mask and it can start blending them. So like, even though like, yeah, this is not like the best mixing right here, like you can kind of see it working. I think what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna make it so that the water layer here, what I'm gonna do is actually gonna delete my layer mask that I had messing up this area, and I'm gonna use the stamp tool for just like a quick and easy like continuation of, maybe not on that layer itself. I guess see that's the issue. If I don't make it on this layer itself, what I'm gonna be stamp tooling is going to be a different color. So it's gonna be, if I ever decide to change the levels, it's not gonna match up right, which will be an issue. All right, so there's still something here that I can need to delete. There we go. But yeah, man, Animal Crossing is great. Like, oh man, I spent so many hours playing the GameCube Animal Crossing when I was a kid. So many hours. I would like secretly wake up like way past my bedtime at like 12 or whatever so that I could see the ghost going around. Oh man, it was so much fun. Oh man, those, like, I don't know, like I have like a really fond spot in my heart for Animal Crossing, and like a lot of people do too. But like, have another Animal Crossing on the console would be really great. I'd love it. I would love it, and I'm sure a lot of people would love it too. But what I want Nintendo to do, and they're probably never gonna do it because I don't think F-Zero games sell very well in the States, is to make another F-Zero game. F-Zero GX is so much fun. So much fun. I just wish they would make another one. Since like Nintendo is going down the more online route nowadays, like they weren't so much back when F-Zero GX was a thing. But like, we could have like online tournaments for F-Zero. We could have all these things. It'd be so much fun. So much fun. Why did I stamp tool that? Why is there like a little coast thing there? I don't want that at all. Get out of here, coast. But like, yeah, in one of my streams that I did maybe like a week ago or whatever, I was talking to a bunch of like people that would just come in for it a little bit and be like, man, I miss F-Zero. And I'll be like, yeah, man, I miss it too. Wish they would make another F-Zero game. And then they were like, yeah, and then they would leave. But like, yeah, everyone's got like the same, like, if you've played an F-Zero game, then you know the love of F-Zero. F-Zero is so much love. But like, I used to be really good at it too. It was crazy. Like, I wasn't like I'm not gonna like toot my own horn because I was nowhere near the best at the game, but I was pretty good because like I had like this competition with my younger brother and one of our mutual friends, and so like we were trying to like abuse the snaking mechanic in the game to get like crazy records and scores. We just played the ever-loving shit out of F-Zero GX for the GameCube. And I'd say we're probably better than like anyone we would know in reality. Like any three of us knew in reality. It's starting to match up. This edge I still need to mess with. Wait, what the hell was that? Like it loaded the area but didn't load the mask. That's so weird. What the hell just happened? Supercell games. Maybe. I don't know. The name sounds very familiar to me for some reason. Maybe it's because like I have a Miku Hatsune Supercell album, but it's not for a game, so maybe that's why it sounds familiar to me. Like, what are the Supercell games? It's very possible that I played them. I've played a lot of games in my time, but I don't obviously remember them all. But it's also possible I didn't play it. But what is it, man? What is the Supercell games? They're apps, and then probably I haven't played them. Like to be honest, like my phone is pretty crap. So like if like it's like a phone app or something, then I probably can't play it. Oh, Clash of Clans stuff. Nah, like my phone probably can't run them, but like I know of them. Yeah, like my one of my uncles plays Clash of Clans like a lot. Like he's got his own clan and whatnot. But like yeah, like I know of them. Like they seem like they're pretty fun. But like as I said, yeah, my phone's a piece of crap, so it can't run anything more than simple text messaging and stuff. They seem pretty good though. Like if my phone wasn't utter garbage, I probably would have played them at some point. This mixture of this layer is not working out too well, but we are gonna just skip that for now because what we need to do is we need to turn this water into lava anyway. So I already forgot what I was doing. Okay, so what we could do is see, this is the thing. I could gradient map it. Let's just gradient map it and see what that does. No, not channel mixer. Why did I click channel mixer? Adjustment layer, gradient map. All right, we're gonna put it over everything for now. And let's see. I want whites to be more extreme here, so we're gonna move these other layers down a little bit. Maybe move this one back up. A little bit more down. Like I really want it to be like extreme on this gradient map. And don't want that. I'll move this up and then put actual black in there. I think that's a good like fiery effect. I think Digimon is all trained. You're still not happy, Lopmon. I don't know what to do with you. You're just always upset. Oh man, dude, we got some burn rap going on. No thanks, don't feel like it. Oh man, if you're not familiar with this site, Enchanted Noodles, DoD, Dwelling of Duels, it's pretty good. If you want some like game like covers, every month they have like a competition with the theme. So like sometimes it's like a free theme, so people can put whatever, but like it's all game related stuff. So like that one I was just listening to was like the Chrono Trigger album. So it's like pretty cool stuff. All right. That's kind of cool having it set as luminosity, but now what you're gonna do is more layer masks. I probably could like cut my time down a little bit if I didn't, if I had like a masking pen tool area for this lake. Yeah, it's pretty good. Like if you ever need like some, I don't know, music. And the good thing is since they're covers, I think it's like oh, I'm dragging the Digimon around. Don't want to do that. But since they're covers, man, you can definitely stream them. Like as long as you like give the artist credit, I think you're pretty much good. It's pretty. Yeah, if you can get your computer to work, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Like, like this is like not all my songs. Most of them are on my laptop or my external hard drive. But for like streaming stuff, it's nice to have. And then I have these like Frozen Starfall things. Like they're crazy. Like I'm gonna play one of them. But like there's this person who takes Toho games music, and like they make it so that it's got like German lyrics. It's pretty crazy. Oh yeah, I saw your comment, Tony. I don't really need a young Alpha Tryon thing. No, I was doing that just to be a little bit of a jackass. Oh, okay. Like I'm not like a master in any way. Like so, if I can give you some pointers, that'd be nice. But I don't expect too much. I'm really struggling with this design that I want. So I don't know what I want to do with it. To be completely honest with you, like I had this dream, and I'm trying to recreate basically what I saw in it. Maybe this lake was just a bad idea. So right now we're just gonna turn that lake off for now. But like essentially it was like the sun here, and it was like this like waterfall going to a lake that was really vibrant, and then I don't know, it's like mountains around and stuff. So that's what I'm trying to recreate right now, and this lake has been giving me some problems. That's cool. Yeah. If you do art, like just send it my way if you want to like me to look at it. Like I enjoy seeing art from pretty much anyone. But yeah, like my line art and my actual like life drawing stuff is so bad that I will never show it. I'm sure if people dug through the internet, they could find some of my stuff, but it's so bad. Like I'm not even kidding around. It's bad. Like life drawing classes didn't do anything for me. Alright, let's just do a rough mask on this and then go back and fix it later. So if I make it so that like everything's basically like super blown out, maybe it would match a little bit more. Alright, let me write that down. I won't go to it on stream, but I'll definitely go to it off stream, check out your stuff. I have a DeviantArt too, but I don't post anything to it anymore. I'm not gonna link to that because it's pretty bad stuff. Alright, I'll check out your stuff. It's almost impossible for me not to enjoy seeing art from other people, but I'll definitely check it out when I'm done streaming. I love seeing what people do. I said this in my last stream when I was doing Photoshop stuff, but whenever I like see other people's work, like I don't like try to copy it. I don't want to say it like that, but like when I see other people's work, it usually inspires me to see different styles of work, I suppose. Different ways of doing things. Like I don't know, like it gives me ideas, and I think that's what like artists should do. They should look to others, because like you're never gonna have the same like life experiences as other people, so you're never gonna like truly see the world different than what you basically live it. I don't want to go like all preachy, but I think artists should look at other people's work so that they get improvement or whatever, different ideas. Alright, let's get rid of this. No, but I got a portfolio site. I use that term loosely. I don't like to link it to like actual like job stuff, but it's essentially a portfolio site. It's in the description of the stream, I think. It should be under like art or something. But like that's like some of my like somewhat more recent work. But yeah, like life drawing classes help me out, obviously. But I never like continued down that path. I took more of a like a graphic design approach, and even though like what I'm doing right now isn't like really graphic design, it's more of just like image compositing. But I don't know, like I got really like embarrassed by it. Like I was never really good at it, so then like at all the critiques that I would have, like I would always get shit on. And like obviously that's part of growing as an artist, but like I don't know, like when you get shit on so much for doing one type of art, but then not so much when you do other types of work, like just like graphic design stuff or vector stuff, then I don't know. It changes your way of like doing art, I guess. I don't know. All right, so now I just need to blend this up and then blend here and then blend here, and I think I should. This is probably actually what I'm gonna do is save. I'm gonna name it as Sun for now, because I don't want Photoshop to crash and I'll lose. Oh wow, this is a huge file. I should have been keeping track. All these layers. Oh man, yeah, it's just a casual 230 meg file. Maybe if I got rid of these, I could definitely lower its size. I don't think I need these layers. You could always add them later if I need them. Though that mountain layer I think would be pretty nice. What layer is this? Oh, it's like a masking layer that I had that didn't work out. Let's save that. I chopped off like 20 megs. It's because this like base image that I found is freaking huge. Like, how big is this? It's yeah, 51 by jeez. All right. Hopefully it's not too bad. Like, it depends on what you're looking at. Like, some of my like graphic design stuff isn't terrible. I do warn you, like, the internet culture series stuff is like meant to be offensive. It's part of like a project that I started when I was in college to be like to emulate the more negative aspects of like, the internet. So that's like its whole point. So hope it doesn't. I hope it's not too bad. It's supposed to be somewhat offensive. So let's see, all layers, finger painting, and let's try to blend this. I'm gonna have an issue blending this. It's because the image is so big. Stamp tool, save me here. This can be difficult. Maybe stamp tool, low opacity, aligned all layers, and hopefully I can just like get some semblance of blending going on here. I didn't think this was gonna be as hard as it was to like get this down. Like, I thought it was gonna be relatively easy to replicate this. Like, I've done harder photoshopping things in the past few days than this, but I don't know what it is about this particular set of images that is triggering me so much. Also, what layer is this nonsense on? Let's see, right click, layer 1. Okay, let's delete that. All right, back to the stamp tool. Some of my like more favorite work on my portfolio site is like my video work. Like two of my like video pieces that I made when I was in college like got on like the college's official like Vimeo because they liked them so much. I think it was Requiem and then Self-Portrait. They're like, cause I was in like this experimental video class and whatnot. So like those were my experimental pieces. Like, if for some reason they just loved like data moshing, even though it's not that good. Like when I made those, my data moshing ability was definitely not that good. It's still not very good, but I was better at it later on in my video editing career, I suppose that's one way of putting it. Almost blended this in. That looks alright. I need to get rid of this area right here. Why is this not like oh, Photoshop's freaking out, that's why. Okay. You would think that as a 34% opacity using all layers that I would have blown this area out already. I went over it so many times. But you can still see its like little remnants here. Like, I don't really understand. I always welcome criticism too, so if you have any like criticisms about my portfolio stuff, feel free to shout it out at me. like, because that's like the only way like I can honestly improve is to get some criticisms. My 3D stuff is obviously not that good. But yeah, I've started dabbling in 3D stuff. Like I've been trying to do it for a couple years now, but like I'm not formally really taught. The only like experience that I have actually in 3D in like an academic sense was this joke of a class that didn't teach me anything. So didn't teach anyone anything. But yeah, most of my knowledge from it, because I use Blender because I don't own 3ds Max or anything like that. So like most of my knowledge is from like Blender tutorial dude. I don't remember what his name is, but if you search Blender tutorials, you'll probably come across the guy's page. But yeah, he has like got some really useful tutorials for learning stuff. I haven't made some 3D in a long time, so like I probably am incredibly rusty at it. But like yeah, if you want to do 3D stuff, just dive in. I mean, it's obviously you're not going to be amazing at it. I'm not amazing at it, but like if you just put in the time, I don't know, you just gotta grind it out, I guess, you know. There's an artistic component to it, and there's also just the like mechanical skill of knowing what all those hotkeys do. Let's see. I think this is like generally what I want. What I could do instead of just messing around with the bottom, this will kind of mess up my guides here, but if I do something like this and crop out that bottom, because that bottom is causing some issues, and then this is another thing I wish that like old school Photoshop 6 had. I know CS6 has it because when I used it, is that when you have the crop tool selected, you get rule of thirds on it so that you know where like, okay, this is a third of my image, and it allows you to crop things in a more photographic cinematic sense. But like with, wow, dude, it's gonna take forever to crop this. But in Photoshop 6, you don't have it. You just gotta eyeball it and hope to God it works out. All right, I kind of like it, even though I wanted the sun to be more along the 66% across for the rule of thirds stuff. I overused rule of thirds probably way too much, but it looks like I have the lake starting there. And where does the 33 come across? Something like this. Oh wow, you worked. Did you work on the Chappelle Show, or was that something that you did in your own time? If you did, man, that's really cool, man. Like, holy crap. But yeah, like modeling is the only extent of 3D that I really know myself. I'm using these terms loosely. Like no is pretty used pretty loosely here. But animating and rigging are like almost have zero experience doing that. I've rigged some things in the past, but animating, I don't know how people do it. Like you have to have like an amazing understanding of how things move, especially like obviously biological things, in order to get like animation down in like 2D. So like to add an extra dimension to that, it is just insane to me. Like the people, I have like the utmost respect for anyone who's like rigged or animated anything. Like amazing props. Like no matter what you do, man, it's gonna be better than what I can put out. So like I'll immediately love it. Why the heck? Oh, it's because I have it set to previous layer. Let's not have it set to previous layer. All right. Before I do that, I need to make sure adjustment layer and hue. Let's make hue to be 0, or saturation rather to be 0. Let's increase the contrast here by a lot. Blow up the blacks. Something like that. And then we can posterize. There's my tip for the day. If you want to posterize something to get it to have different levels, because like the cutout tool's not always the best, I recommend always turning it to black and white so that you're losing data, and then increasing the contrast. Yeah, like I don't know, like I was originally wanting, like I want to be a game designer. Like that's obviously like my, not obviously, but that's like my dream job. Like I've written game design documents in the past, like, and when I was in college, I was game designer for 4 years for like the game design club that I was in, and for my 4 capstone projects I was part of game design things. But before all of that, I kind of wanted to be a 3D modeler person. So when I was in high school, I was trying to learn 3D modeling, and some of those are pretty bad. So like you just got to put the time in, and that's all I got to say. Like pretty much like anything you want to be good at, you just put the time in, eventually it will come. It's like, it's getting past that hurdle of like, I don't know, like feeling bad because when you look at other people, like other artists or other 3D stuff, and not knowing why they're so good and you're like so bad, and that's incredibly disheartening. Like like I suffer from like mild depression, I suppose. So like whenever I see someone who's super good at something, it usually like disheartens me for a bit, but then I like tell myself, no, Pixelbane, you gotta take this as a motivation. So that's why I push myself to see other people's art so much, to push myself to get better, to always improve. So that's why I like seeing other people's art, I guess. Let's reverse that now. Maybe the white. Maybe I need to add more red into this for what I want. I want it to be kind of lavy. Maybe the blues are just too much. Move the reds up. Push the blacks higher. Something like that, maybe. I don't know, like I thought this cutout would work better. I mean, it kind of gets like this like weird lithographic type of feel, and that's kind of what I like to go for. Where it's like, I don't know, it feels very like dream worldy. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe color burn was the wrong option for it, but I think multiplying color burn would give me the best options. Gives me the highest contrast, obviously, other than exclusion for whatever reason. Let's lower this up a bit. Maybe if I lower the amount it's mixing in, and lower this guy up a bit. Didn't mean to lock the layer. Yeah, like I feel that too. Like when I go to the gym, man, when you see those motherfuckers that are like super beefed out and you're just starting, it's really disheartening, man. It's like, oh man, I gotta keep pushing myself. But yeah, it's a good reminder to always keep pushing yourself. No, but I obviously know of She-Ra. I didn't watch it. My older brother watched She-Ra and stuff like that. So like I guess in a way I did watch it probably, but I don't remember anything about it. But yeah, like I watched a whole bunch of like shows like it. I remember, like, I don't know, my older brother's much older than me, so like he experienced a lot of stuff and I experienced a lot of stuff through him. So like I played the original Warcraft and Warcraft 2, original Diablo, original Doom, Doom 2, watched a whole lot of Thundercats, and He-Man, just like, I don't know, like hand-me-down stuff like that. Yeah. I stopped going to the gym and I just do basically floor exercises at my house. So it's a lot of sit-ups, a lot of push-ups. I'm trying to get one of those like door hang things for pull-ups. Don't have one yet, but I feel like pull-ups would be a nice addition to my floor exercises. You gotta keep yourself fit. That's my advice to everyone too. You gotta keep yourself fit so that you don't die early. And when you're healthy, your mind's pretty much healthy too. So, yeah, I don't know, like, I don't need to preach to the choir, Tony. You obviously work out, but like working out always, like, I don't know, it makes you happier. I don't know, your body just likes it. I didn't actually want to do that. There we go. Let's go back, add a pattern layer, add the cross hatching. Maybe it was. I'll ask him next time I see him. Alright, wand tool, all layers, and then select this black area, and then we'll mask that out, not deselect it, not delete that, mask that out, other. I wouldn't doubt if Princess Adora was his favorite. I wouldn't doubt it. That's not what I want it to be. Maybe if I set it to screen and then lower this amount. The white's too extreme here. I wanted to have like this weird like cross-hatching effect to it, like a color halftone in a way. And I guess a way I could go about doing this is just like taking the whole image of itself and then just selecting the black that way, like doing the merged copy. But I don't want to add an extra layer here when it's unnecessary. If I can kind of like replicate the effect using a pattern fill layer. Fill layers are always nice to use because they effectively take up less hard drive space, and you can get like similar effects than just like having a full raster thing, because like what you're working with fill layers is just pretty much information, and information's always going to be less than just like full color information. Like it's like text document level amount of information. All right, I'll get to see her. I guess since you told me about one of your first cartoon crushes, my first cartoon crush was Lilymon from the original Digimon series. Like no joke. I don't know why this like plant fucking thing. Like actually no, that's a lie. My sister is older than me too. And she got me to watch Sailor Moon, and if I remember correctly, like I couldn't stop talking about Sailor Mars. So even though I didn't think I classified it as a crush, I think probably back then it was probably like a crush. So probably Sailor Mars was probably first crush, and in like reality, like it's insane to me to think about that stuff. But Sailor Mars, can't go wrong. Let's see what I don't know what I want to do with the rest of this. Like the color is pretty intense. I'm losing a lot of information, but like I want it to be kind of, I don't know, like high contrast lithographic in a way, like very dream worldy. And I like the gradient map color that I have. I guess what if I just color burn it out? But then the only issue is it becomes really, really burnt out, and I don't know if that's exactly what I want. But if I lower it, I lose the darkness, so I think what I'm going to end up having to do is take the paintbrush here, give us some feathered edges, and then mess with the layer mask. Not so much. Let's go to like 30%. No, that's still too much. Let's go to 10%. I don't know. Which one do I like more? Color burn or this effect? I like the contrast of color burn. Well, let's just stick with it. We'll see what happens. Then I'm gonna do Blasphemous Act and copy merge layers and then paste the merge layer. And what I want to do is I want to make it so that it has sharpened edges. I didn't want to. I can't do. I don't know if CS6 has like adjustment layers for filters. I talked about it earlier in one of my other streams. But if it does, that would be a godsend, because all I really want to do is I want to apply an unsharp mask to every layer below it. But I can't do that unless I copy it, which is going to be like, I don't know, it took up an extra 15 megs of hard disk space just to do that, which is kind of ridiculous. Alright, more dream worldy. Everything pops a bit more. Yeah, I don't know, like it's weird thinking back that like I liked Lilymon. She's got like weird like bug eyes, and maybe that's what got me into like liking anime, I guess, is that weird like moe bug eye look, I guess. I don't know. I'm delving into like some deep oh, you subscribed, Tony. Welcome, man. I'm glad I convinced you to subscribe. I can't promise that all my content is this revealing about myself, but I don't know. It's nice talking about it every now and then, I guess. Let's see if I put this on posterize, see if I can get some different effects going on here. Nah, it's not gonna work. Oh man, I haven't actually shared my crush for Lilymon, or I guess Sailor Mars, in, I don't know, years. I think the last time I told someone about that I was in high school, and I guess I became, I don't know, I guess more sheltered, I guess, to telling people that, but I guess I'm at the point where I don't mind telling strangers. You're not a stranger anymore, Tony. We've been talking for a while. Alright, let's see what I want to do here. I don't know, I think this is a lost cause of a piece. Like, I can't get it to be where I want it to be. Like, I'm trying a whole bunch of things and it's just not working out. I'm not gonna scrap it, I'll still upload it because I think in some way, like, it's alright. And I can always go back to like my tried and true methods of just making it have chromatic aberration. And if you don't know how to do that, I'm gonna give you guys a free tutorial, like I have on pretty much every one of my videos, of how to do some chromatic aberration. And essentially what chromatic aberration is, if I can actually copy, if it lets me copy, it's not actually letting me copy. Oh, it's 'cause I didn't even see that it was up there. I have it on normal, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, so what chromatic aberration is, in this like simplest terms, it's effectively like what happens when light diffracts on surfaces. So if you ever look through some glass and then the white light is kind of going from RGB values, from separating into those from the rainbow. This is essentially what it is. Also, it happens on old TVs, old CRTVs, especially in VHSs, and you can have a whole different set of effects if you just mess around with the different channels. So essentially what you want to do is you want to break up your image into its additive colors. So you want a red channel, you want a blue channel, and you want a green channel. So what you do is you open up the channel mixer here, image, adjust channel mixer, and then you want to change the channel. So I have a red and blue one, so the next one we need is our final green one. So we go to red, we put that at 0, we keep green at 100, and we move to blue and put that to 0. And so we have our 3 channels. And then you have 2 different options for this. I think you have 3 in newer Photoshops because you have an actual add function. Man, you know of Quick, man. I love reading about Quick. I don't mean to be mean to him, but I feel like he's in danger once Barb gets really ill. If Barb goes away, I don't know how Quick is gonna survive, to be honest. But thanks, man. I really appreciate you subbing. But so back to this little mini tutorial. So then once you have these, you have 3 options. So you either put it to screen. I think CS6 has an add function, or you put exclusion. And so you want these top 2 channels to be of the same thing, so either exclusion or screen. And then at that point, you can basically start separating your channels out. And as you see, you get this crazy effect going. And if you do it right, I think it's you move the blue channel to the left, and then red channel to the right. Or actually the other way around. You move red to the left and then blue to the right. You start to get this chromatic aberration. So you have the different color spectrum coming out. So you get this rainbow look, which is actually really kind of cool. I rely on it too much for my glitch art, because if you want to glitch art things, you can easily get that effect by messing with channels. But some other cool stuff you can do with it is, since you're you're adding these channels up, you can effectively just singly modify a single layer and do things I don't know, maybe put Gaussian blur on your blue channel. And by doing that, you get a crazy yellowing effect on everything. Your blues essentially blow out. If you put it on normal, our blue channel now looks like this. So you get this old photo-y look to it. And then you can do something different for your green channel, and that'll change things too. Let's try something I haven't done before. I don't know what I would do. It's got to be some artistic or brushstrokey thing. Excuse me. Let's try accented edges and see what that does. I need to find some edges first. Alright. Let's try something like that and see what it does. I have no idea what this is gonna do. So it blew out all the greens, so then now the only real channel that's coming through is like the red. So that didn't actually work out anywhere near I thought it was gonna work out. But the two main things I like to use is Gaussian, motion blur, and then what else do I like to use? Median as well. Median is also a cool effect to use. It effectively starts to, like, obviously as the name implies, it tries to find the middle values between different color zones. So it's a good way to like start a blur off. So if you want to blur things together, if you get a median first, it starts to soften your edges. And then from there, if you Gaussian it, you get a nice pillowing effect. But that's not what I want here. And what else you could do is you can like merge these layers down into one and then have them as an effect over anything else. Something with Photoshop 6, there's like some weird quirks to it. When you have it set to color, it doesn't always give you like the same result, and it doesn't give you very vibrant color options, because this like cyan right here should be very vibrant. Like it is actually green, and it's not coloring it green at all. I know from experience working in Premiere Pro and After Effects, if you have channels set up to be color channels, they actually color them. So it's kind of disappointing. But yeah, I guess we're gonna go for like a older look feel to this. Yeah, motion blur is really nice, especially if you. Let me just like open up something. Oh, my memory is getting pretty low because I'm working on like. Photoshop 6 is not a very optimized program. So if I keep working on this, I think what's going to happen is it's going to get to the point where I can't save it anymore. But motion blur is a good tool to work with if you like use like a masking thing. So if you use the pen tool to make a vector or something like I'm just doing this really quick. So if you select this area right here and then you motion blur that, or if you just actually if you feather that so that you get a softer edge, let's work with like a feathering of like 10. Because this picture is so big, and then you apply a motion blur, then you can make it so like it looks like you have a line of movement going on. It's actually really neat if you have multiple layers and you have it set up right. It doesn't really work for this because things aren't really moving, but that's a good tool to use. And then I think this is a good layer to work with. We're not layering this anymore, and I want to make it like maybe like an old television type of effect. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make it so that we have an inner shadow. We're gonna make it so the choke is actually really low but really big size. This will give us like a shaded appearance of something that's kind of like bulbous. So our like corners here are darker than the center, and we can change it so that it's. I think the linear line works best. Always put it on anti-alias so that you have a softer edge. I'm pretty sure that it's automatically anti-alias in newer Photoshops, so you don't have to worry about that. And what you also could do if you wanted to, you could have it set up with a gradient overlay to like accentuate that more, but you would want to mess with the opacity a bit more. Let's see, luminosity. Maybe a little bit of Lumo coming through. Let's change the scalar a bit. Something like that. I think I like that. I mean, I don't know. I think this turned out all right. It's not exactly what my dream was, but it's getting like the general feel to it. I think if I added another white sphere on top of it and then just blended that into like a burn or something, or a dodge. Now it's snapping to my guides, and I don't want that. I don't even know if this is gonna work out. Like the sun with the cross-hatching that I had set up started to look like a globe. Like this kind of looks like Africa. Like there's the Horn of Africa, and then like, there's like this land bridge to South America, and then like I don't know. Like, it just so happened to turn out like so it kind of looks like a globe or some like alternate thing. And so maybe it's not the sun. Maybe it's like a planet. Maybe I just wanted to have an extra bit of lightness to it, so it glows a bit more. I think that works. Yeah, and what I could do here, if I just wanted to glow a bit more, there's two options to really make it look like it's glowing. You could just Gaussian blur, which is the easier option, Or if you wanted like a true glow, it's hard to do it in Photoshop 6. I keep harking on that, but like I'm pretty sure like this blur center thing in other Photoshops, later ones, you actually see the photo. So I kind of have to just like wing it. And I actually think if I keep it in the center, it should be all right. And then you set it to zoom. I'll just go for good for now, and then you add a little bit of like of depth to it. And what happens there is that it takes the center and then it blows out the pixels. It's gonna take forever, I think. It might even just like crash my Photoshop. Cause like down here, it's not even like registering. But what it does is like it pulls it out. You can make it look like it's got like God rays. It's similar to like the sunburst or like a lighting effect in like Premiere Pro as like a video effect. But this might have been a mistake because of how long it's loading. And it's been a while. Let me check this submission. Oh, I got one. Luffy on toast, butter side up. All right. I will work on that one next. Luffy on toast. What could I do with Luffy on toast? Maybe I could find like a pile of toast and then work from there. This was a mistake. I'm gonna be honest. It's not gonna finish. So I guess what I could do. Alright, let's go and get some good old Luffy fan art PNGs. Alright, before I start picking them, let me see what toasts or bread that I can find, so that I don't have to worry about changing angle so much. And since Photoshop is basically going to be stuck in this loop for quite a while, I might have just like straight up crashed it. Photoshop 6 definitely has some problems with it. It doesn't really like working in like, even if you do like 300 DPI things. Yeah. Oh my god, those 4 kids dubs. Oh my god, it's just so amazing, right? It's I love my jelly donuts. Love them. They're just so good. Oh man, I'm glad someone got it. I'm sure a lot of people get it, like would get it. It's just the issue is that not a lot of people know of my stuff, but I'm glad you got it, man. Alright, I think that toast is actually pretty good. I can just find a Luffy that kind of would work well with that. It's a slight angle. This looks like it might, but it's a figure. My computer might actually hardcore crash here because, oh wait, it worked. It's done. Alright. A whole lot of nothing, but essentially what you're seeing here is that it blew out the circle. The center wasn't exactly where I wanted it to be, but it's a nice little effect to work with. It's better to work with smaller images than like super amazing resolution ones. But if you're working with a newer Photoshop, then it shouldn't really be a problem. And then your next step would be to set it to a screen. Typically, you wouldn't be working with white light, like wholly white light, but since I have to lower the opacity a bit. But yeah, like even like 300 DPI, like relatively small, like inch-size things that like graphic design stuff, like Photoshop 6 struggles with, and even though it really shouldn't at all. When I had the, cause I was curious, so I got like the like trial version, like the 1-month trial of CS6. CS6 has no problems running with like relatively large files. It's incredibly well optimized. So I mean, unless you're running like super old software like I am, then you're probably fine. All right. It was this Luffy on toast, right? Yeah, correct. All right. I can use this toast as maybe some background. It's not that big of an image. This one I can do this. I think that Luffy would fit on it. And I think I'm calling this one. One final touch, I gotta put my signature on it. So I gotta go here. I'm curious, Tony, because you know of Quick. Do you know of one called Darkside Phil, DSP? Because I love DSP as much as I love good old Quick. I really love my DSP. So if you know of him, man, we're like fucking best friends. We're probably, I don't know, if you know of Quick, you're already like on best friend tier with me, man. Anyone who knows of Quick, like even if it's just a mild knowledge of him, is immediately best friend tier with me. Let me continue to deal with the Digimon while it's saving. Oh, it's just a casual 335 megabyte file, and not a big deal. Alright. Now let us work on the suggestion by Noodles here. Let's see, desktop. What I'm gonna have to do is actually, I need to relaunch Photoshop because it's just eating up memory. So while that closes, I'm gonna find some more Luffy images. I guess it couldn't hurt putting the logo in it as well. I'm gonna go pretty vaporwavy or 80s nostalgia on this one, Noodles. That's what I'm feeling after like fucking up my dream one. Like it didn't turn out anywhere near what I wanted. So I hope you're okay with me taking some artistic freedom with this one. But man, it's good. You chose. Oh, that's saving in the DSP folder. I didn't want that. Let's move it to desktop. But good thing about like having like anime/manga characters is that there's a lot of PNGs that are already available with transparencies. Oh, I wonder if that popped up. Every time I launch Photoshop, it has to modify my registry, and then clearly I say no, and in fact it doesn't do anything. Like, so I'm feeling like maybe it thinks that Photoshop is a virus, but who knows? I'm gonna open the sun image just for kicks. I'll open the sky image because I said I was gonna go kind of like 80s retro with it. Let's change it so that I make my typical file size so it's not too big. Typical desktop size. This actually might be, no it's not. Why is it grayscale? Why is that like my default? Alright, put that there. We're gonna lose some information on this, but that's fine. We're not working with it right now anyway. And Luffy on toast. Let's lower that, let's put this in here. I don't know what Luffy I want. Toast I could put in the background. I think that one probably would work better. And let's go duality of it. Let's use that theme. That theme's not overused at all. I think I have my moon saved in my cyberpunk stuff. Yeah, it is. Alright. Alright, cyberpunk stuff here. Alright. Now, let's do some fun stuff. Pattern layer. If you're also learning Photoshop, it's always nice to make yourself some patterns. He's not bad. He's not like the low-cal level of good old Quick. But he's got, I don't know. He's the type of person that like likes to blame the video game for whenever he fucks up something, and I don't know. It's kind of endearing. I don't know. To watch his older videos. His newer videos not so much, but if you watch some of his older videos, like This Is How You Don't Plays that people have put out, I mean, it can be entertaining to watch him rage. I don't know, like his level of playing video games and his like anger at them, like is always like some like a story, or not a story, but like a reason for me not to get angry, because I don't want to become like that. Especially if I stream stuff, I don't want to get to a point where I'm just like yelling and blaming the game for every one of my faults. Oh, you love Deus Ex, homie? Oh yeah, okay. I gotta use a good old OC Remixes set of music, because I can't actually play it. I probably get showed by some company. Like Square Enix will probably say you can't use Deus Ex music for whatever reason. But I love Deus Ex, man. Oh my god. Friggin' Deus Ex. I didn't like Invisible War too much, but maybe if I ended up beating Invisible War, I would have liked it more. So I guess there's that going on, but you can't go wrong with the first Deus Ex. It's so good. It's so good. If Noodles, if you're still in the chat, man, because I can't really tell. If you're still in the chat, I really recommend, if you haven't played Deus Ex, the first one, you should go out and get it on Steam. It's relatively cheap nowadays. It's probably like $5 on Steam. But it's so good. It's like the quintessential, I can't speak, the quintessential cyberpunk game in my book. And a lot of people's books as well. I mean, I kind of liked Human Revolution as well. I liked it obviously more than I liked Invisible War, because I actually ended up beating Human Revolution, but I don't know. Human Revolution was alright. And then the latest one, I don't know what they called it, Mankind Divided, was alright, but it's not Deus Ex. It's not really Deus Ex. It's like some like spin-off, if I think of it like that. Then I can enjoy it. Yeah, like, I mean, looking back, I probably liked Invisible War a little bit. Like, I kind of like the atmosphere of Invisible War, like, for sure. I don't know, I played Invisible War right after I played the first Deus Ex. So, like, it's a pretty big departure from the first one. Oh, man, it's so much fun. The Gep gun and everything. No way. No way. He was the voice for it? No way, dude. Holy shit. Like, I know that, like, a lot of, like, English dub stuff and video game voice actors are the same. Like, Steve Blum is everywhere. But I had no way. No idea. That's crazy. Now if I ever play it, I'm gonna be hearing Kid Trunks and Vegeta's voice. Every time I play it. Why didn't I catch that before? That's crazy. That's amazing. Now, thanks for the trivia. I'm never gonna forget that. But yeah, first Deus Ex is so good, man. The music, like, this remix of UNATCO doesn't do it justice at all. Like, if you ever heard that song, like, Ich bin ein Gummibär, or like any variation where it's like the gummy bear singing, like, there's like that beat going on in this. Like, I keep wanting to sing it. Like, this is like a terrible rendition of UNATCO. This is the UNATCO that I love. Oh, man. Ugh. So many hours in UNATCO. Oh, man. If I ever become, like, a cyborg and I have to have, like, a kill phrase, it's gonna be Laputin Machine. Or maybe it'll be, I don't know. Maybe I'll make it something like lemon lime or orange soda. Something really dumb related to Deus Ex. I don't know. But like, going back a long time, like the start of the stream, if Noodle's still in the chat, I'm still watching it. I forgot to mention Deus Ex when I was mentioning my favorite games. Thanks, Tony, for reminding me how much I love Deus Ex. I also love Chrono Trigger. But Deus Ex is really good. I wish more games would come out like it. Alright. Oh my gosh. Tony, do you know about CD Projekt Red's Cyberpunk 2077? Like, I'm really hyped for it, and I'm really disappointed they keep pushing it back. I love the first Witcher game they put out. Love the second one a little bit less, and the third one's pretty nice. But they have definitely improved on like gameplay mechanics. So I'm really excited to see how they handle like a Cyberpunk game like Cyberpunk 2077. If it's anything like the original Deus Ex, I will lose my shit. Like, I don't know, like the aesthetic of like rain in a neon city, like the dystopian neon city. I don't know, it's just something about that is just so fucking cool. I don't know, like I live in Arizona, so like we don't get rain a whole lot. So if a game has rain in it, like 100%, like I'll like fucking I'll like it. It's like a guarantee. And like a lot of Cyberpunk games have neon lights and rain, and those are two things that Arizona doesn't really have. All right, I'm just gonna go quick and easy on this shadow. I'm not too concerned. Get some reflected shadow off of that. He looks like he's about to fall down because his like center of gravity is all weird, but I don't really mind. This is supposed to be vapor wavy cyberpunk, maybe 80s, who knows. I don't know what I want to make this. I just have a grid set up, so I'm going neon probably. Maybe if I just lower this down to something like that. Alright. Now, for the compositing of things. Luffy I can move over. Let's link my layers here. And since I didn't really like it, so I can move him so that he doesn't look like he's about to fall down. Hopefully this fits your taste, Noodle. Hopefully I'm doing justice to your request. Alright, so I said something about duality here, so maybe I can make it so that he's got like some like weird ass like sun thing behind him. Like a power aura. Like he's got like a spirit bomb, because you know shonen comics are pretty much all the same. You got a spirit bomb behind him, like growth and power or something. I don't know. Bringing up DBZ made me think of spirit bombs. Just a machine. Let me change the song. I actually don't know how loud my audio is, but let's change it to Streets of New York. Doo-doo-doo. Oh man, I love me some Deus Ex. Alright, what do I want to do with this moon? I could do a few things, but actually before I start messing with the moon, I want to start messing with the floor. Let's add a color here. And we're gonna go for like a neon like look here. And then we're gonna duplicate it, invert it. Nope, not open, invert. And we're gonna use the blurs that I was talking about earlier. Not blur 40 pixels, that's way too much. So we're gonna blur it like maybe 4 pixels. We're gonna go back into, actually we're gonna go into levels. We're gonna blow out our whites. Maybe, I don't know, that's too much. We want a little bit more contrast to it. And if we just make it so that it's less saturated. Oh, it's because it got that color overlay. That's not what, that's why it's going all weird. And then we can mix it so that we have some light going on. We can make it look like a grid if we have it set to like difference or something like that. Oh yeah, it's so good. Like I want to go back and play it because it's been like maybe like I play it every few years. Maybe I'll like mod it up next time. But man, good old New York themes, or I don't know, like the Chinese levels are pretty good. The music in those areas are really good. I don't think this remix album. No, they have Hong Kong streets. I'm gonna let this one finish. But like, and the music in Deus Ex is just so iconic to me. It's just so good. I wish I could play like the originals, but I don't want my my channel to get like copyright strike because I'm playing music from a game that I'm not playing currently. Because that would be pretty sad if that happened. Let me reverse this. The white needs to be pulled down a little bit. Maybe not actually. If I add like actual white to this, I think that would be okay. And if I pull this back and add actual black, it's not actually popping up. Let me see here. It's not even really popping up, but that should be alright. And if I change this to... Actually, I don't know what I want this to be. Like, I think it looks alright like that. And then I'm going to save this gradient so that I actually have it. And then I'm going to apply it to Luffy to see what Luffy looks like with it. My favorite way of playing Deus Ex is to use the trip or laser trip mines, or what slams or whatever they are in the game. I can't remember what they're called. And putting them, like a bunch of them in one spot, and like luring like a boss to walk over them. Like you could pretty much cheese just about every boss in that game if you have enough of like laser trip mines, because they'll just walk and blow them all up and then take like a crazy amount of damage and die immediately. That's how I beat. Good old, oh crap, what is his name? Cyborg guy, Putin Machine Kill Phrase, dude. That's how I killed him the first time. It's just I just abused the amount of wall stuck laser trip mines. And I think if I just lower the opacity here, I just got to give him a slight tinge of that gradient map rather than a full gradient map. We'll do the same thing for the sky here, but we're going to customize it just a little bit. And reverse sky actually looks pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. Wow, looks like we're on Namek. The exclusion makes it look like we're on Namek. Yeah, lamb grenades, yeah. Oh man, so much fun. Using the Gep gun is also pretty sick. Which one of these do I want? I think that it's way too contrasty. But we'll stick with it. And then we just gotta mess with the toast, and then we can start working on post-processing the entire image. Let's gradient map here. We'll just use the other one that it's all weird. And what we can do once we get these all like set up with their color is that we can make them like wireframey. Why isn't it loading? There we go. So we get some color on that. And if we duplicate this layer again, if it's gonna let me duplicate this layer, and we invert it, and we turn on the effects, we put it 100% normal, gradients, so that we have it being more dark by the horizon, I believe is what we would want. Less opacity. And vibrant pink is what I think we need. Not satin. Alright, and then we just make it so that it mixes with the outline effect that we had going on in the previous layer. So that if we do this just right, we can keep the outline effect while having this color over it. And hopefully it looks alright. But Photoshop is taking a while to load the effects, which is always a problem. I suppose what I could do is just lower the opacity here so that I keep it. And I have this like area right here where nothing is in the background, so what I probably need to do is have a background layer. No, don't delete my pattern layer. Have a background layer of just like black, even though it's just gonna eat up memory. I messed up with one of my masks and I don't feel like figuring out which one it is. Alright, we're going pretty vaporwave. I thought I was gonna go 80s on this, but I guess I laid it on like vaporwave. I could use one of my other things I've made in the past, like this weird cyberpunk city, and see what that looks like on top or in the background. The issue would be, I guess I could just distort it. It doesn't really matter. We're going for it as like a texture effect, if anything, because you're gonna have to blend it to the background. Yeah, I think it works well as a texture because of the scan lines I put on it. And it kind of actually really, like, the scan lines and the weird like boxes make it look glitch arty, which also kind of helps out with the vaporwave aesthetic. I think I like that. Maybe I don't like the sun. Or maybe I could change the sun from not dodge to something else. It can't be multiply. I would have to get rid of the black. I'm just going to keep it. I decided to use it, so I'm going to decide to keep it. And we need to make sure that we have some shading for the toast itself. Below the toast. So that there's some shade coming from the sun moon thing here. And then we don't have anything really going on in this side of the map here. I mean, I could put some like maybe lean or something because I decided to go vapor wavy on it. Problem is I delete my stock images, not really even stock. I delete the images that I steal for my composite stuff, so I don't really have a whole lot. I guess I could just put a piece of toast. Just some toast here in the foreground. So like we have like this like weird setup. This would need to be in front though. And it needs to be in front of Luffy. I don't know, because we already have the moon basically on our third here on this column, and we have Luffy on our column here, and the moon's also on our third, / the horizon line's kind of on our third. So like, I don't know, I don't really need another item. But I could make it so that like the ground is see-through, and then we have some toast like coming from hell, I suppose. And then if we're gonna do that, we're gonna have to work with some diagonals here so that we can get the eyes to follow to Luffy. Because the moon's not doing a whole lot. The horizon line is bringing you to Luffy. So if we make it so that this toast is pulling you towards him as well, I think that would work out. And I maybe want to move the moon over just a little bit so that it doesn't seem so one-sided of a composition. I mean, the composition is not too great on this. I'll be the first one to say. Let's add a pattern layer. Is this my better scan lines? Which one is the one that I like more? We'll take this one, see what it looks like. No, it's not gonna work. I have too many horizontal lines. So scan lines are pretty much off the table at this point. What did I want to do? Oh, I wanted to use an effect on the toast to see what that would do. So I'm gonna copy my toast layer, I'm gonna paste it, and I'm gonna use something like glowing edges on it, which I can't remember where glowing edges are because I don't use them a whole lot. Stylize. All right. Let's make them bright and make it more smooth. Lower the size, and what we need to do is we need to make it so there's no saturation on them. And then we can apply them as like an effect. By doing this, you can make it kind of look like Tron effects because you get like the edge of it, you get the contour to like glow up. I guess what you could do is also you could make it so that they're colored, but once they're like, if you don't change it so they're like a monochrome or an achromatic, you get like this weird like disgusting looking color effect attached to them. So I mean, you can change it so as long as they're all like one solid like monochromatic scheme, you can make it so that it looks kind of cool. And I guess you could do the same thing for the moon. Let me see what the moon would look like. Let's duplicate. My layer mask is really causing some problems here. Actually, that's not the layer mask, that is that layer right there. And we're gonna do the same thing to the moon. We'll keep the colors on the moon because the moon, oh wait, never mind. That is not because, it's because I duplicated and I was messing around with the gradient mapped one. That's why. Typically, if you have a colored image, you get like these weird, like different hues for your glowing edges, which sometimes works out if that's what you're going for, but let's just see what it looks like with it before I start bad-mouthing it. I mean, it looks alright with color burn. Like, it really like pulls out things. It adds some texture to things. But then let's see what it looks like if I just, I mean, it's pretty close to achromatic, so it won't change it too much. It actually doesn't change it at all for difference. So maybe the moon was alright. I didn't need to worry about it. Change the opacity. And then now we're on to our final post-processing for Noodle's requested image here. And do one final gradient map over everything. We're not going to make it so that it's like too apparent, but we just want some like one final thing to pull everything together. Let's see what the reverse does when I mix it. Because like, if you guys know like vapor wavy stuff, there's a lot of like gray tones for things. So if I use the inverse of the gradient map, this looks like some like rip off like fucking art for like some like rip off One Piece game. But like for like a lot of vaporwave stuff, it's a lot of gray tones. So like this actually washes it out just like a good amount, but I don't think I'm gonna go for it. Maybe I should just invert it and see what like a normal gradient map would look like instead of trying to be fancy. No need to be fancy. Because like now it starts to like really blend everything together. So like you can like just mess with the values here. I think multiply is pretty much the exact same thing as color burn, but it works. And then, is that what I really want to do for it? Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So what I'm going to do is my final touches up to make it look like retro-y. And the best way to do that is lowering the image information. So add yourself a unsharp mask to make the edges look really sharp. Then you can add noise, or what you could do, I don't know how well this is going to work, is you go to texture and then grain. And then you want to set your grain to horizontal, and that will give you like this like noise layer. But before we do that, I'm going to copy the image and paste it, because I don't want to lose the unsharp mask if this doesn't work out the way I want it to be. Not texturizer. We want to go back and grain, horizontal, zoom out. Dark is too much on that. And maybe something like this. It's not really working out the way I want it to. It's adding some texture to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on luminosity and then just have it just a little bit. And then, well, we'll do it the hard way. So the hard way of adding like horizontal like noise as if it's like a television. There's a couple ways of doing it. The way I like to do it is I like to start with a black canvas, go to noise, add noise, and then add a certain amount, like something like maybe like 10. And so you have this area selected, it added noise to that area, and then you want to select maybe like 1 or 2 different areas here. You add the noise again, and you keep this selected, so this area is going to have the most noise in the end. So you just got to think ahead to like where you want the most noise to be located. Because we're going to end up like blending this anyway. So it's also kind of cool to have areas of high noise, no noise, and then some noise. And then once you have this all set up, you deselect everything and you add some little bit of noise to everything. So right now you have like this cool little effect going on, but if you really want to take it to the next level, what you want to do is you want to expand this so that you pull the noise pixels as far as you possibly can. And effectively what you're going to do when this loads is that you're stretching these individual pixels so they're super wide if it's going to load. Wow, I mean, it might be a little bit too much, but when you have like really old VHS stuff, you get like this loss of quality. So I think this is what I want. And then I always like to cut it out and delete the layer, because that layer will have like this really big area that you're not seeing, but it's going to add to your total memory usage, which is not fun. And then you can mess around with the blending options here and find one that really fits your piece. There's not a whole lot that really fit. The screen is probably going to be my best bet here. I think screen is going to be my best bet. Let's turn off this layer. No, that layer was fine. What I could do is definitely just add a normal set of noise on the bottom filter of this area. Not that much though, like a little bit. And I think that's what, I don't know, I think I call it there. It's not that good. I apologize, Noodles, for probably not doing justice to your request. I mean, you left it kind of wide open, and you know, wide open requests really would allow a good artist to shine through. Unfortunately, I'm not amazing, so I struggled through it. I could make it, I don't know, what else could I possibly do with this? Could just make it really strange and then just like have some like bar over Luffy's face. So he's like not actually Luffy. He's censored out of the picture. And then what I could do is, since this area is really blacked out, let me get my guide here. So 33 is here, and then 20 is here. So what I can do is I can take this on the 20. Yeah, the VCR image is pretty good. It's surprising. It's a lot easier to do this effect if you're working in After Effects or Premiere Pro. Doing this similarly in that, it allows you to really make it pop. And like if you use the channel mixer stuff that I was talking about before to get that chromatic aberration and then blur that. Another thing to do to make it really work is to like make it so it's blurry, because when you have like obviously older formats like VHS stuff, like you don't have as much image fidelity. So like if you could just blur it or Gaussian blur it, and that allows you to get a good effect. And then what you also could do on top of all of that is if you add maybe curves, you can make it so that you get some more grays in the image. Maybe not blow it out that much, and maybe not put that much gray in it. And I don't like that. But yeah, you can just add a bunch of different effects to make it so that there's like a loss of information. But as long as you're working so that there's never actually a real loss by using adjustment maps and things like that, then you can always go back and change things later. But yeah, I don't know, I like working with this. And I think if I added more gray to it, I think it would actually work out a little bit better. Oh. Just completely screw up the image. I forgot I had an anchor point. That's too much. There's still too much detail in it to make it like a true VHS look to it. But I don't really know what I want to do with it, because I already settled on copying these layers and to go back and add channel masks. I suppose I could do it. Let's move this down here. I can do it once and see what I get with channel mixer, setting contrast so I get a blue layer, setting that to like screen, and then blowing that out with maybe motion blur. And then once you motion blur it, you want to actually like just a Gaussian so that you don't get sharp lines. Something like that. And I guess I should have a red layer so that you can see what it looks like without just being blue. So to do that, just go here, put zeros on these other two layers. So this is another way of doing additive stuff. It's a little extreme. I don't know if I like it. But yeah, when you blow out colored channels, that's another way of like faking the VHS look. You blow out like the blue channel from the red channel or something like that. It allows you to get some, because like if you've obviously watched old VHS stuff, like usually the color channels aren't always in line, and sometimes like if you see like a really white in one of those, it blooms out on the edges to blue for whatever reason. Yeah, I hope he is. I'm doing this for him, man. I mean, he already knows that I have. He was here when I was streaming yesterday, so like he already knows about my portfolio site. So I'm sure he'll go there, and eventually you'll see it. But I don't mind. It's good experience for me to get practice to take someone else's request and try to make it into something. I think if I just lower this just a little bit more, I think this is what we're gonna call it at. Put this effect on. Actually, I'm curious. I want to see what postering this does. I use posterization way too much, but I used to do pixel art, and for some reason, like when you like posterizing things, like reminds me of when I used to do pixel art. That's going back to my DeviantArt stuff. Like a lot of my DeviantArt stuff is pixel art, so I haven't done it in years. But I used to do pixel art for games that I would make in high school using Game Maker, but it's all really embarrassing now. I actually kind of like that effect. I don't think I'm going to use it in its final, but like I really like the weird cutout look of it. I don't know, like I don't think I'm going to be able to blend it in, but like I for some reason I really like how this looks. It's not going to be the final. This is going to be the final here. And what did he want me to call it? Butter side up. All right, there's no butter on it, but it's going to be called butter side up. And I think that's what I'm gonna call it, Tony. I appreciate you coming in, and hanging out with me and talking about Quick and like all this stuff, talking about Deus Ex and a bunch of stuff. Like, man, we have a lot of similarities for the things we like, which is crazy. But yeah, I really appreciate you coming in. I hope you enjoyed it. And like as I said when you first came in, there's no guarantees that I'll be able to teach you anything because I'm not any type of master with Photoshop. I've used it since I was in elementary school. I've used Photoshop 6, this version of Photoshop, since I was in elementary school. So I have years of practice in it, but that doesn't mean I'm very good at it. But thanks for coming, Tony. I really appreciate it. If you have any suggestions for like things for me to make, let me see if Nightbot is gonna recognize my command here. It did. Okay, so if you just fill out that Google form, you can like suggest anything and I'll do it. No problems, no questions, as long as it's not too lewd. Obviously, I want to stream myself doing that stuff, so it's got to be able to be put on YouTube. But yeah, you can suggest stuff for me there. Yeah, man, we would have totally have been like, we would have clicked for sure. We would have hung out and done stuff for sure. You seem really fucking cool, like no joke. But yeah. If you ever want to come back to any of my live streams, I'll make sure I announce them beforehand. I might stream like more art stuff tomorrow, or I don't know, maybe I'll install Deus Ex and play through that. Who knows? But I'll catch you some other time, Tony. Have a good day, man. Peace.